Well, hello guys. So I will make a small project on Spring Boot, a demo project. So I will incorporate different technologies in that project, in the Spring Boot project, like Hibernate, GPA. We're gonna use a data source like MySQL. So stay tuned. Hope this will be helpful and you will enjoy this series. So I will make like maybe it will last like 2-3 days, and I will make one video per day or every 2 days. So we see how things will go. All right, so let's start. So I will start by making a small presentation on Git. Let me explain, give a brief introduction on Git. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay. All right, so yeah, so hope you can see. So let's start the cinema. So the first thing, I'm gonna make a presentation on Git. All right, guys. So what is Git? So we say Git versus GitHub. So very often people they try to think that Git and GitHub is the same thing, right? So the first thing that you people should know is that who created Git. So we say that Git is created by Linus, sorry, Torvald. So I think you already know who is this guy. He's the guy who created Linux, the operating system. So he also created this small software which goes Git. Good. So, oh God. So what is Git? So Git is said to be a distributed, distributed version control system. All right, good. So this is a distributed version control system. So what is a version control system? A VCS. What is a VCS? Now, when we as developer, when we are creating an application or making a project, a software, during the software development lifecycle, so we never create an application at one go straight. So we will always make a different version of the system, like a version 0. We start by version 0. Then we implement the version 1. So we keep on improving. So we have the version 1, the version 2, version 3. Then we come to a stable version like version 4, till reaching at the best version of the software. And this is a version control system. This is how it works. So before we used to have a mechanism like it was a centralized version control system. Now, what is a centralized version control system? I will just briefly explain to you. So let's say we have a server here. All right, so this is like a remote server. Okay, and let's say we have 3 developers here on their machine, on their local machine. Okay, good. So on that server, actually this is a server. Let's say this is a central remote server. Okay, server. All right. Okay. And on that server, we have an application at version 0. Then we have it at version 1. All right. So these 3 developers from their machine, they can of course access these. They can have access to this remote server and try to like load, for example, the version 1 of the system. He can do the same, and he can do the same. Okay. So the central remote server was like that. So we can, like, we have PC1, PC2, PC3 at 3 different locations. So from their respective location, they can access this remote server, which is a centralized server. And then they can load this this source file, for example, and perform some modification. Now, actually, there was some. It was to know that this was a single thread. Like only one person can access to the server and perform modification. Like they cannot perform at the same time modification on the same file base. So on the same source file. So it is not multi-threading. It one thread at a time. So I can say that it is synchronized. So these two persons have to wait until this one finished, then this one can access, right? So they have some drawbacks actually. Secondly, let's say if the server is facing some breakdown, some issues, then all these three persons, they will not have access to this server, and we can have like big big financial loss, or um, big like more, it will take more time to finish the project. All right. So for some reason, if the server is down or the server is not working correctly, or it can be the fault of the user itself, if the user doesn't have internet access, all right, or if the user is moving in another country and is not able to access the remote server, all right, due to some proxy and whatsoever may happen. So it is not a good idea to have a central VCS, virtual control system, like you have a central remote server, and different person can access to it. So that's why we created the distributed version control system, which is created by Ernest Towal. So the distributed control system is like, you can instead of accessing like the same server. Let me show you. Okay, to move that. Okay. Okay, how it works is that on each machine, they will have like a local repository. So what they can do, each user, each developer, they can make a copy of this repository, having different version of the application on their local machine. And from their local machine, each one will make a copy, right? So we have 3 different copy on the local machine, all right? And they can they can do any changes, modification, improvements, adding new features, whatever they want to do on their local machine. He also can do that, he or she also can do that. And for example, once he is satisfied, he can create a branch on the remote server, and then he places his source file there. Same here, and they can also merge. They can merge their works together. They can work on the same files at the same time. So these are the main benefits, advantages of having such distributed version control system, which has been developed by Linus Torvald. All right, so this is Git. Git is a distributed version control system. So let's quickly differentiate what is Git and what is GitHub. Well, Git is a distributed control system. So this is a software to perform version, let's say, to perform version operations, okay, let's say of a project. So the Git is a software where we can apply many transactions, many operations to files and so on. Whereas GitHub, all right, GitHub, let's say GitHub is, yeah, it's like an add-on, okay, of Git. Or let's say it is it is a UI version of Git. All right, it's like this is a user interface which is friendly, UX of Git, where we can access and you can see, like it's like a website. Okay, it's like the website. You can see the repository. So yeah, it's a website version. It's a website version. Okay, so yeah, so we have Git and we have GitHub. So Git is command line based. Okay, command line based. Okay, guys, so let's get our hand dirty. Okay, let me just open my command prompt. I think this. Okay, yeah, we can check the version, okay, of Git. And first thing that we will do, we will create a folder. Okay, let's create a folder. Okay, yeah, let's create, let's say here, let's create this here, Git. All right, let's create a folder. Okay, let's call it demo. Call it demo, okay? Call it demo. Okay, on that folder. And let's just open this folder into the command prompt. No, wait, let me just do something. We will move to this directory. So, wait a minute. So back here. So we say change directory. So let's move directly here. Okay. So we are in this folder, right? In the folder that I just showed you. Let me show it properly. So we have this and this. Okay. Okay, let me show you. Basically, so this is the, we create a, in the document, we create a Git folder. And in the Git folder, we create a directory, which is called demo. All right. And then on the command prompt, okay, on the command prompt, okay, on the command prompt here, we move to that location. Okay, we are in this location of the of that repository, of that like this folder. Okay, so yeah, so we have to create a folder locally on our machine. So I create a folder called Git workspace. Then I create another folder here, which is demo2. So it is an empty folder. Okay, there's nothing there. As you can see, 0 bytes, there's 0 files, and so on. Okay, good. So what we will do, we will create a Git repository, which will be the local repository, guys. So that is a command for that. The first thing is create an empty, okay, Git repository. Okay, so we will use a command, say init. So, okay, let me just show you what I just written. Okay. Okay, so we create an empty Git repository. We will create an empty Git repository by using the command git init. All right. So here we say git init. Yeah, so as you can see, it say initialize empty Git repository at this location. Okay, at this location. So again, if you just see in here, wait a minute. Yes, here. All right, Git space in demo2. Yeah, there is the local repository is here. This is the Git. Okay. So we have this local repository, which is Git, which has been automatically initialized, be created by the command which we use, which is the git init command. All right, so, okay. So here, let's create 2 files there. Okay, we're gonna create 2 files. Okay, let me just okay. I will open a notepad and I will share the screen. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So this is my notepad folder. Right. So I will create a file, a simple file. Let's save it. We will save it in this demo2 directory. So let's go there, documents. I think it was Git workspace demo2. All right. This is a local repository here. Let's call it test.java. Okay, let's create a Java program. It's very, very small program, guys. I will not get into detail on that. Just gonna mean the main method, public static void. I'm sorry, void main with the string arrays. Okay, and here again we just print something, right? Just output something on the print stream. And then say hello. All right, that's it. Okay, so we just created this file and we created this file and we save it in the demo2 directory. Okay, and we go back to our command prompt. If you can see here, we have one file and the name of the file is test Java. Okay. All right, so we can compile it if we want. So test Java. Good, compile fine. We can run it. Oops. So you have an error saying a GUNI error has occurred, blah, blah, blah. Exception in thread main Java lang unsupported class. Okay, it's an unsupported class version. So it is because I had different version of Java on my machine. So I will recompile it with Java 8. So I think there's a command called release 8 test.java, no, that one. Bytecode. Okay, compile fine, and then we say Java test. Yeah, so it's saying hello. Good. So now what we will do, we will place this version of that source file on Git. So before doing that, we have to understand some things. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let's go back here. Yeah, this one. Right. Let me explain you something, the architecture of Git. Very simple, guys. So what we have our source file here. Let's go. This is our source file, which is the this is the test.java file. All right. So Git, what he will do when we make some changes in this file, all right, when we make some changes, whatever changes we made. So what he will do, we have to put a command, place a command. We say commit, and then the commit will just say commit. The commit will just place this test object, like will commit all the changes that you made on that file, and we place it in the local directory. That is a git.git. Let me create a local directory. Okay. So let's say this is a local directory. So with those changes, actually, let me do that. Copy, paste. So those changes, with those changes, you will just put it into the local, let's say the local repository. All right, so a repository, guys, is just like a container. This is a place where you can store all your files and application. All right, so yeah, so when you say commit, if you make changes in your source file, it will commit those changes. So this is a temporary, like when you say commit, it will just put it in the local repository. Now you will say, okay, Chris, now let's like just put this object from the local directory and let's just put it into on the server remotely. Let's say the server is here. This is a remote server. So what is interesting to know is that Git will never like transfer this file directly into the remote server. So what he will do, he will place this file before going there. He will place this file on a temporary place, which is called the staging area. So it's like an employee, right? He like an internship. So before getting the job, he go to a staging area. So the staging area is just a temporary area where your file will reside for a temporary point of time, right? So before, I mean, if a project is in a staging area, it doesn't mean that it will go to the remote server like automatically. It will just stay there temporarily. If you're, for example, instead of sending it directly to the remote server, and then you just realize that, oh damn, there's something missing, some features not good, and so on. So yeah, it would be not good to roll back. And at the same time, when you're thinking of that, there's another person's which just take this file and working on it. So yeah, this is for safety reason. Linus put this safety layer, which is the staging area. So before, when you commit, it go to the changes that you made in the file will go into this local repository. And from the local repository, of course, you have to put it, this is a life cycle in the staging area. So now the file get into the staging area, okay? And then after, if you're happy with the improvement of what you've done and so on, you can also delete the file from the staging area. And after, if you're happy with the improvement, then only you can send it to the remote server. Okay. All right. So yeah, so you have the commit, and to add this to the staging area, you have a command which say add git add. Okay. And finally, you have what is called, to put it on the remote area, you have git push. Okay. So basically, this is how the architecture works. All right, you have git add, git push. Okay, so you have the local repository, you have the staging area, and then you have the remote server. All right, so let's implement that. Okay, let's go back to the command prompt. Where is it? This one. Okay. All right, so here we can check the status, right? As you can see on the branch master, okay, we say nothing added to commit. All right, it's saying that there's nothing. I mean, this status is on the branch master. I will explain you briefly what is a master of the word of the word. So actually we are in the branch master and we say that there's no commits yet. So there's no changes which has been made to any files on that branch. And actually he's saying that, hey, I find 2 files which is waiting to be added on in the staging area. He's saying that use git add file to include in what will be committed. So before making it any changes on that file, you have to put it into the staging area. This is what he's saying. Nothing added to commit, but untracked file present. Untracked, that is, we cannot track this file yet. It is not in our repository. They are unknown, but they are here. So, okay, we say, okay, I want to add this file, this one, the source file, not the class file, but the source file to the staging area. We say, okay, we say GitHub. Is it good? Yeah. Let's recheck the status now. Yeah, as you can see now, it is in green, and this one is red, because this is the file that we added to the stage area. We say we can use git rm // cache to unstage, because this file is actually being staged. It is staged into the stage area, the temporary area, but we can remove it from that stage area by using this command git rm, which stands for remove // cached, and the name of the file. He's saying this one is on track. No problem at all. It is on track. It is on track. So because we don't want this file to be sent basically to this remote server. All right, so we leave it here. Okay, so now we will move this file, okay, to the remote area. So how to do that? So first of all, what I will do, I will just open my GitHub. So let me share my screen. Wait a minute. Okay, so this, yeah. I hope you are seeing my screen. Yeah, let's go to my GitHub. Okay, let's go there. Okay. Right. So this is my GitHub. These are my repositories or some project I made. So let's say start a project, or you can click on this plus sign, you say a new repository. So let's create a demo. It's just a demo. You give a simple Java program, a demonstration. Set it to public, private. If it is payable, you have to pay for that. So we can add a README file. You can have a Git ignore file. You can have a license file also, but I will not use this file. So there's no use to create that. Then we say create the repository. Guys, you see, it's very, very easy. So as you can see, this is GitHub. So this is a website version. This is a user interface. You see, you have buttons. So it's more easy to manage, like if you're a beginner, right? All right. We have our repository, which has been created. This is a URL. You have demo.git. Okay, this is the name of our repository, the remote repository. Okay, then he say create a new repository on the command line. So we already do that. We already do add it. So it is already in the stage area, and now we want to put it into the into the remote area. So okay, we can say a git commit. Actually, we did not make any change, but anyway, let's just do the git commit. Okay, this, and you can M is message to leave a message. Like you say, sending to remote. Yeah, just commit that. If you make changes, you commit. But anyway, just for some sake, we can check the status again. And yes, it is. So it is already in the stage area, nothing added to commit, but in track 5%. Yeah, it's saying that still there's an in track 5. Anyway, so what we will do, we will use this command. Okay, so we will, let me go there. We will use this command git branch /mm. So we are changing branch. We are going to the main branch. All right. Because we will put our project on the main branch. It's like the master branch. And then what do we need? We also need to, wait a minute. We have to push the project before pushing it. Actually, I don't know if you can see my screen. This is show here. Okay, all right. Then you put this command. You say git remote add to origin this. Okay. And finally, you push this, you push it to the remote server, which is the remote repository. You have a git push origin main. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, so you see it's enumerating objects, free done, creating, blah, blah, blah. So as you can see, we finally push our source file to the remote server. Let's check. Let's check it. So let's go there. Let's go back to the project. Yes, so as you can see here, if we go to the demo repository, yes, you see here, we have the test Java file. Yeah, and we have it here. All right, guys. So this is Git. This is how Git work. So we successfully push a file from our machine on a local repository. Then it moves to the staging area. And from the staging area, we push it to the remote repository or remote server. All right. So for example, if we bring some changes, let's say we want to make some changes here. You say hello world and you save that. Okay, and show that you see. Yeah, we make a changes. Before it was hello, we say hello world dot dot dot. Save it. And then we come back to the command prompt and we say git status. Git status. What is happening at the local repository? He say, hey, you modify something in test.java and this one is still on track. But he's saying that, hey guys, you modified something. He's saying that. He say, okay, use git add to update what will be committed or doing that. Say, okay. So you can say git commit. Just a message. You say new update, say update 1. Okay. This is a message. Right. Let's say your branch is up to date with that. Okay. So let's say git its status. This. All right. So let's git add it first. Git add test Java. So it has been added into the staging area. Then we can commit it. We say git commit with a message saying that new update on 5. All right, so we commit, you say that, yeah, we have committed the change. It's all right, good. Then we just push it. We use this push git push u origin. The u is the settings, right? So we are saving the settings. Okay, guys. So if now we go back on this on GitHub itself, let's go back to GitHub. Okay. So here, if we refresh, okay, we go to this and we open the test.java. Yeah, you see here, it has changed. He committed the change and then we push it back there. So this is nothing but Git, how Git work. Now, guys, there's something that you should know how to pull, how to get a, for example, you have this project and let's say you want to pull it, right? To pull the project on your local repository. Okay. So maybe just before that, I will just talk a bit about branch. Okay. Like what is a branch and stuff like that. Yeah, so let me just share the screen here. Wait a minute. This one. Okay, let's clear this. So as you can see here, the good programming practice say that the main branch should contain the original code, and that original code should not be used, right? Like you put the original code there. Then if you want to make some modification on the code, then you make a copy. All right, you make a copy of that original code and you put it in another branch. Like it will create another branch. All right. So how we can achieve that? We say, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, you say, I hope you see my screen, guys. Yeah, you say, oh, damn it. Say git check out. So check out from this or the main branch, and let's create a branch. To create a branch, we use this -b and call it new. Call it new. All right. So here you see. So we move from now we are in we are in another branch. Okay. So we are in a branch which is called new. If you say git status, okay. You see, we are on branch new, and yeah, we have this file which is untracked. Nothing at all yet. But let's go back on the. Wait a minute. Let's go back on the repository. I mean the server. Okay. So yeah, so basically, I don't know if you can see my screen, guys. Okay, this is my main issue. All right, so we now, as I just told you, we are in a branch on the new branch. So how we can push actually this branch to the remote repository? We just say git push. Oh, sorry, git push new. Okay, actually just say origin new. Okay, let's wait some minutes. All right, so we can create a pull request for new for this branch on GitHub by visiting it. All right, so we have a new branch. We can go and see it. Let's go on there. Okay, let's refresh it. So yeah, as you can see, we have a branch here which has been created, which is called new. Okay, this is a branch. And of course, as I told you, this branch will contain a copy of what was in the main branch, in the master branch. Let's try to go in it. Yes, as you can see, he has a copy of that. Okay, so now we can make every modification on that. So let's go back here. Show you. Let's clear that. So we say the git status. Okay, let's go back here. All right, let's say for example we want to make some updates in this file. I don't know, we want to change this, for example. Hey, I am a new version. Okay, for example, that. Okay, you save this, and let's go back to the command prompt and let's say git status. All right, so see what he's saying on branch new, because we created a branch which is called new. What an idea. And he's saying that, okay, there's some modification on that. So, okay, let's add this to the staging area, test Java. All right, so it's here. And let's just commit the change, say commit change, and then we give a message, new changes, and then do that. All right, the change has occurred. All right, the change has occurred. Then we have to push it, push to origin, push it to new, right? Let's try that. Yeah. So you have to bear attention on the fact that the changes has been made. Let's go back here. Let's refresh that. So you have to understand that we are in which branch? We are in the new branch. And you say here, hey, I am the new version. So the changes has been made in the new branch. But if we go in the main branch, the default branch, you see here, there's no changes which has been made there. No changes. And we can notice that because I will show you one thing. Here we can go back to the main branch. We say git check out to main. Right, so your branch is up to date with origin main. So now we are into the main. And if we go to our, this one, okay, this file has been modified by another branch. You want to say yes, and you see, you come back to this one, right? This is very, very, very interesting, guy. This is how we work with Git. So yes, so this is the fundamentals that you should know about Git and GitHub. And last thing, if you want to pull something, you say git pull, for example, origin, you put the repository, there's no problem. You have a git pull. So I think we already see everything. For example, you want to pull the, let's say origin, what do we have, which branch, for example, the new, want to pull it to get it. Okay, what's he saying? Could not find remote, let's say main, for example. Okay. All right. So let's check the status. In which branch we are in the main branch. All right. So to the git pull, actually. Okay, let's go back here. Where is it? This one. Yeah. Okay. So yes, I don't know if you can see my screen. Okay, let's go there. Right. So for example, you want to pull the main branch. Yeah, so you see here, so we pull that from this, okay? So we can pull a project. So yeah, so this is what is I think that we should know about Git. Okay, hope you enjoy this presentation on Git. So in the next video, I will create a project completely using Git in Eclipse. And this project is just to give you a small idea on how to push a project on Git, what is commit. So basically, we show this. There's just notepad. Okay, so show you that. Yeah. So yeah, it was a small presentation on what is the difference between Git and GitHub. What are the different fundamentals, things that we use in Git. For example, if you want to create, initialize a Git repository, use a Git init. Then you create some files. If you want to add the files in the staging area, which is a temporary area to add and remove files. So you use a git add command. So we can remove a content from the staging area. We use git rm, it's dash dash cache and the name of the file. And we can check what is on the stage by using the git status. All right, so we have information on which branch we are, which has been committed or not, and so on. If you have make some changes, then you can use git commit. Git commit will perform those changes, will persist it, and you can set a message. If you want to change the branch also we saw, we say git check out. And if you want to pull something, you say git pull. So there's nothing complicated here. So this is it. So later on, what we will do, we will use Eclipse. All right, we create a project on Eclipse, and we will, for example, you go on Windows, I think it's persistent. This one, other, yeah, you have Git here. You say, okay, it should give me some Git. Okay, let's go show view. Git, other, Git repository, press okay, yes. So yeah, so this is here. So what we will do, we create a project on Git, like we can clone a Git repository and we create a Spring Boot project. So yeah, this is the first video, which is on Git. And tomorrow I will upload a new video on we will build a project, the Spring Boot project. We'll add some dependencies, and yeah, we will see. Hope you enjoyed this guy and hope you learned some fundamentals. This was a short presentation on Git and GitHub. Hope you enjoy it. So this will be very helpful tomorrow if you're gonna work in an organization. You should know the basic of what is Git, what is GitHub, how to stage a file, how to push a file remotely, and so on. So I wish you a good day and see you tomorrow. Bye.